All right, football fanatics, let's cut through the noise and dissect a situation that's been brewing with a bitter taste for one of the NFL's most consistently competitive franchises. We're talking about the San Francisco 49ers, a team that, despite its perennial contender status, is grappling with a glaring void in its aerial attack. But here's the burning question that's gnawing at the very soul of the faithful. How profoundly disappointing is it when a player poised for a breakout, a player who even demanded a new contract, seemingly vanishes into thin air precisely when his team needs him most, leaving you to wonder if the bright lights of expectation have simply become too blinding? It's a sentiment that echoes through the hallowed halls of every fan's mind when potential fails to translate into performance, especially when the stakes are sky high. In the unforgiving crucible of the NFL, where every snap is scrutinized and every opportunity is a chance to etch your name into glory, the narrative of a player stepping up in the face of adversity is often the stuff of legends. Yet, sometimes the script takes an unexpected, disheartening turn. For the San Francisco 49ers, a team that has navigated a treacherous landscape of injuries to its receiving core throughout the 2025 season, the desperate need for a reliable, consistent target has been a recurring nightmare. They knew they'd be waiting a while for the dynamic Brandon Ayuk to return to action, but his slow, arduous recovery from last year's torn ACL has been worse than even the most pessimistic projections. Simultaneously, the Niners have been without Ricky Pearsall, a player who flashed breakout star potential for all but 4 games and saw their all-pro tight end, George Kittle, go down in the season opener, leaving a chasm in the middle of the field. In the absence of so many quality targets in the passing game, San Francisco has desperately needed anyone to step up and shoulder the load. The prime candidate, the player many would have expected to seize this golden opportunity with both hands, was the very receiver who had demanded a new contract in the offseason, seemingly brimming with confidence and a belief in his own elevated value. But more often than not in 2025, Jauan Jennings has been nowhere to be found, a ghost in the machine, a whisper when the team needed a roar. It's a perplexing turn of events that leaves fans and analysts alike scratching their heads, wondering what happened to the player who once seemed destined for greater things. After what many hailed as a breakout campaign in 2024, a season where he hauled in an impressive 77 passes for 975 yards, one would have thought Jennings could shoulder the load, at least for a little bit, while the 49ers waited for injury luck to finally break their way. He had established himself as a gritty, tough-minded receiver, a chain mover, and a player who thrived in contested catch situations. His physicality and willingness to block endeared him to the coaching staff and the fan base, painting a picture of a player whose ascent was just beginning. The contract demands, while perhaps a bit premature for some, felt like a natural progression for a player who had seemingly outplayed his draft status and was ready to command a larger role and a bigger paycheck. The stage was set for him to prove his worth, to solidify his position as a crucial component of the 49ers' offensive arsenal. Instead, Jennings has been erratic and untrustworthy, a shadow of his former self. The consistency that defined his 2024 season has evaporated, replaced by moments of brilliance interspersed with long stretches of invisibility. His 62.4 PFF grade ranks him a dismal 62nd among 83 qualified wide receivers, a stark indicator of his struggles. To put that into perspective, he's barely treading water in a league where every receiver is fighting for relevance. His 28 catches for a thoroughly underwhelming 324 yards have been a bitter pill to swallow for a team that has struggled mightily to find a non-Christian McCaffrey target it can rely upon in the passing game. McCaffrey, the undisputed engine of this offense, can only do so much. When the ball goes through the air, the 49ers need other playmakers to emerge, and Jennings, who was supposed to be at the forefront of that charge, has simply not delivered. It's a frustrating reality for a team with Super Bowl aspirations, a glaring weakness that opposing defenses are undoubtedly salivating over. But the issues with Jennings extend far beyond mere underwhelming production and disappearing in key moments. There have been whispers and even outright reports of behavioral issues that have further complicated his standing with the team. It's been suggested that he has perhaps inadvertently sabotaged his own trade value, making it even harder for the 49ers to move him if they chose to. In a league where every asset is meticulously evaluated, any hint of internal discord or a player not fully buying into the team's philosophy can significantly diminish their market worth. Furthermore, there have been reports of Jennings getting into it with head coach Kyle Shanahan on the sideline, a cardinal sin in any locker room, let alone one led by a coach as respected and demanding as Shanahan. These aren't just minor squabbles, they are red flags, indicators of a potential disconnect that can fester and ultimately poison the well. In a championship-caliber team, unity and a shared vision are paramount, and any deviation from that can have far-reaching consequences. From a technical standpoint, Jennings has struggled mightily to find soft spots against zone coverage, a fundamental skill for any successful NFL receiver. This particular weakness puts him in an incredibly bad position to change the narrative against the zone-heavy Arizona Cardinals in this Sunday's matchup. The Cardinals, known for their defensive schemes that prioritize confusing quarterbacks and blanketing passing lanes with layered zone looks, will undoubtedly exploit this vulnerability. If Jennings cannot adapt, cannot find those crucial windows to make himself available, another poor performance will only confirm what many in the organization and the fan base are already suspecting, that moving on after the season is the only logical course of action San Francisco can take. It's a harsh reality, but in the NFL, if you can't perform against specific defensive looks, you become a liability, not an asset. It's important to remember Jennings' journey. A former 7th-round pick in 2020, he had been a surprising success story, a testament to his grit, determination, and the 49ers' ability to unearth hidden gems. For late-round picks who are early in their careers, there's often a period of grading on a curve where coaches and management are more forgiving of mistakes. Understanding that development takes time, there's an inherent patience, a willingness to nurture talent, hoping that potential will eventually blossom into consistent performance. But after a while, that grace period comes to an end. The honeymoon is over. It becomes time to earn your keep, to demonstrate that you are not just a flash in the pan, but a legitimate, indispensable part of the team's future. Or, as the old adage goes, it's time to keep it moving. So far, in 2025, it's been the latter for Jennings, and don't expect that to change anytime soon. The writing is on the wall, etched in the disappointing statistics, the missed opportunities, and the reported sideline friction. The 49ers are a team built to win now, a team with a championship window that is wide open. They cannot afford to carry players who are underperforming, especially at critical positions, and especially when those players are also creating unnecessary distractions. The NFL is a business, a brutal meritocracy where sentimentality often takes a backseat to performance and fit. While Jennings' story as a late-round success was inspiring, the cold, hard truth is that his current trajectory makes him an expendable asset. The harsh reality of professional football is that past contributions, while appreciated, do not guarantee future employment. Every season is a new audition, every game a new test. For the 49ers, a team that prides itself on its depth and its ability to find value in unexpected places, the decision to part ways with Jennings in the offseason seems not just likely, but almost inevitable. They will need to retool their receiving core, perhaps through the draft or free agency, to find players who can consistently complement Brandon Ayuk and George Kittle and provide the reliable targets that Brock Purdy desperately needs. The future of the 49ers passing game hinges on finding those consistent playmakers, and unfortunately Jauan Jennings, despite his past flashes of brilliance, no longer appears to be one of them. It's a tough pill to swallow for any player, but it's the nature of the beast in the National Football League. What a fascinating yet ultimately disheartening saga this has become, isn't it? The journey of a player from overlooked draft pick to potential contract holdout, only to falter when the spotlight shone brightest. Do you think the 49ers are making the right call by seemingly moving on from Jauan Jennings, or is there still a path for him to redeem himself in the Bay Area? Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments below. We want to hear your unfiltered take on this pivotal situation. And if you appreciate this deep dive into the harsh realities of NFL roster management and player performance, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for more passionate, in-depth analysis of your favorite teams. Your engagement fuels our fire, and we love dissecting these critical moments with you.